Hello everybody. Today I'm reviewing the Roterfaden Taschenbegleiter Medium, which is the equivalent of A5, SO22. Roterfaden, meaning red thread, is a German company, and their organizers are called Taschenbegleiter, which means pocket companion or bag companion. Let me declare right from the off, I only bought this to review. It's not a product I would normally buy. I think we can split the types of organizers that there are into those. One end is those highly finished executive style organizers. And those, let's say, at the more craft end of the market. I personally prefer the more compact executive style organizers. This is definitely an option from the craft end of the market. So you may find this review to be colored by those preferences, but there are some practical issues which I think you should know about if you're a prospective customer for this company's articles. And there's some extra information I haven't found on other reviews of this company's products that I want to share with you. The philosophy behind this design is to create a book-by-book system which is open. That is, it doesn't lock you into a single provider. Roterfaden does offer a range of inserts, but I didn't earn any. I have loads of notebooks lying around which I can use. My current personal preference is for the X47 book-by-book system, like this one. But you can only buy the inserts and the notebooks from them because they're specially designed to fit into this system. And nobody else makes these, so I have no choice but to buy things from them. The philosophy behind this is that I can put anything into it I like, including those X47 notebooks, and I'm not locked in to buying their products, which I think is I applaud this philosophy entirely. They have overcome this problem of being a closed system by using these clamps. You'll probably be familiar if you're an American, I've seen them mostly in America, with clamps like these because they are found in billfolds to hold banknotes. Yeah, so you'll have one of these, you'll put your banknotes underneath, you'll pop it down, and these will clamp those banknotes into your billfold. The idea is that you can hold virtually anything in this. Notebooks, notes, tickets, bills, which are A5 or smaller. In this respect, it's not so different from a ring system, although you don't have to punch any holes, of course. And in this system, because you can actually pull out these clamps a little further than the top of and the bottom of the begleiter, the organizer, you can use it also for pages such as American letter size, which are larger than A5 or folded A4. I should notice that this product is different from many of those offered in the Taschenbegleiter range for a number of reasons. First of all, this version, this SO22, has one piece of leather for the whole of the cover. A lot of what they offer has a piece of leather at the front, a piece of leather at the back, and this spine is a sort of webbed elastic material into which the clamps are inserted. This is one of the very few products they have where the elastic material is not there. It's probably inside the leather. It's not visible, let's say, to the user. And this one also has no leather closure. Most of their products have an elastic band here, which you can use to hold the folder closed. And there's no pen loop, which many of their products have. Also, the interior of this is suede. Many of their products have felt interiors. I don't like felt in organizers because I find it attracts the dirt. It really becomes grubby. I mean, I'm not a dirty person, but it's still very easy for it to pick up dirt from various places. And this suede is 1 millimeter thick. The felt I've seen is sometimes 2 millimeter thick, sometimes if it's doubled 4 millimeter thick. So it really makes for a very bulky organizer, which is not my preference. So I have chosen this version, which has, because if you know from my other products, I don't like elastic. So there's no elastic on this except for this zip pull here, or at least no visible elastic. And so I chose the product that has no elastic pen loop, no elastic closure, and no elastic spine. Okay, that means typically it's one of the more expensive of their offerings. This is 164 euros. I will note that this is a German price because this isn't made entirely in Germany, entirely from German products. So you're not getting cheap because it's not made in a low wage economy and then imported. It's 100% German, low transport distances, low carbon footprint. And again, I applaud that their ecological, what do you call it? Their qualifications are very good. Okay, so I'm going to start adding some stuff to this now while I talk, which is going to really tax my ingenuity, so bear with me. Roterfaden used to have a configuration option, so that's where you could choose your own configuration from scratch. And they mentioned this in a lot of their materials, including this, which came with it. This gives you some information about the product, and they mention here the configurator product. A lot of the reviews, in fact, every review I've come across of this product mentions the configurator. The configuration option is no longer available, and that has been confirmed to me by Roterfaden. So what they now have is they have, it must have been very difficult for them to manage everybody wanting a completely different layout. So they now have a set of standard options, and they have a set of limited editions that they change regularly. I should also say I found their website a real trial to work through. I had to do a lot of clicking to get a good feeling and more information about each of the versions they offer. And in the end, I just had to resort to paper because I just couldn't work it out any other way. I had to write it all down so I can try and work out what the layouts were, what the costs were, what the sizes were. And then when I did decide, okay, I'll order one, I had to go back and start all over again because the limited editions had all changed. So, yeah, I did ask them about their website. They said they're very happy with it. They said their customers are happy with it. That's fine. Personally, I found it difficult to work through. And I don't normally have to revert to paper when I'm using a website. So, yeah. I will also say for them, their delivery is a little slow. This is not unusual for German companies, unfortunately. You can order something on Friday and don't expect it to arrive on a Saturday. It's not going to happen. They'll go about things in their own good time. They said on their website that this would be a delivery 1 to 3 days within Germany. It actually took 8 days, 5 working days, and they didn't message me to say there was a delay or why there was a delay. This is unfortunately, again, very German. But be aware that it'll get there in the end. I have to say they were very good at answering my messages in their own good time. But the whole process is very relaxed. There's no hurry to get the products to you. The product is leather in this case. They have a lot of other options such as faux leather, and often the materials, as I said, are felt. The outside of this product, which I will show you when I can stop fiddling about with this. The outside of this product is Rauchblau, which is smoky blue. As I said, it's one piece instead of two. The leather is chrome free. It's been tanned chrome free, so it's much less polluting than the standard tanning system. It doesn't have a very strong leather smell, and this particular type of leather will mark within a very short time. this arrived basically marked in this way. You can even see here, for example, you can see that it's already wearing here where the zip is on the inside. So it really picks up marks very quickly. That's the leather type, fair enough. When I put this down on a surface to weigh it, you can see here it's already picked up another couple of marks. So it's really, really, if you want leather, a type of leather which doesn't mark or will always look new, don't buy this. Don't buy this product. And it's, as I said, this is to me the sort of craft end of the market. It's sewn in the simple way. It's sewn with the two layers of leather visibly sewn together, as you can see here. If you're looking at the sort of higher end executive end of the market, this is my X47 I'm currently using. You'll see here that you can't see the leather at this point where it's been sewn together, because they go over the top and sew it together on the inside here. That's sort of the executive end. This is much more the basic craft end. So it's sewn in a very open, basic way. You can see what it's made of. There's no pretense here, let's say. It is very floppy. It is really, really, really floppy. It's there's no stiffening whatsoever. This is, again, personal preference. I'm not keen on this. It will stiffen up slightly if you put things into it, of course. For the time being, I find this is a little too floppy. But that's very much personal preference. A lot of people like this very soft, very, very floppy setup. Now, if you look at the back, there is the logo. Let me see if I can give you that a little bit better. Roterfaden Taschenbegleiter, 100% made in Germany. It is 18 centimeters by 22 centimeters. This is their medium product. They have three product sizes. They have small, medium, and large. In most markets, these would be named A6, A5, and A4. This is A5. It doesn't happen in Germany so much because they are selling you the folder, and the size of the folder is not strictly A5. As you can see, this is an A5. So the size of the folder is not A5, so they do not sell it as A5, because even though what goes in is A5, the fold itself is not A5. If you look at, for example, this manufacturer, X47, you'll notice that that's the wrong one. You'll notice that this is exactly A5. So what they do is they will sell this folder as A5, and the inserts are very slightly smaller than A5. But here they don't do that. They will tell you that it's medium, which is 18 by 22 centimeters, and you then need to work it out. But this will hold A5 products. And its weight is 235 grams, which is a really nice lightweight, nice and lightweight for a product like this. The inside is Honiggelb, which is honey yellow. It has two card pockets, 1, 2, yep, and a larger pocket on the left. Now these pockets are very, very floppy. They are very loose. They are intended to take anything you throw in them. You can put your mobile phone in here and so on. But I would not trust these pockets to hold anything in if you hold the organizer upside down, or if you drop it. If you do, everything will come out. So this is the same on all of their products. If you see the reviews, they're all very loose, very loose. It's deliberately so, but again, this is, yeah, if that's what you need, how you need to use it, that's fine. Personally, for me, that's too loose. The 6 clamps, these are made of steel. And they can also be used as bookmarks. So, if you're working on something, you can lift the clamps up as you work and move the clamps as you go along. Or you can just, like here, you can buy a ribbon like this, and you can attach that to the top of the clamps here, and you can run it through the book, so you can actually create bookmarks in that way if you want to. On the right hand side of the product is a good size surface for writing on. So a good thing is that the A5 doesn't hit the zip, so there's no competition between the zip and the paper. There's a zip pocket in this version, and in the inside, as on the inside of these, on this side, there is waxed cotton fabric. The product lies absolutely flat, as you can see. This is one of the advantages of being completely floppy. It lies completely flat. You can fold it back on itself, no problems whatsoever. These clamps do not clamp as hard as I thought they would. You can see you can still move the notebooks around when they're inside. The clamps twist in their holes very easily. There's a lot of shoving around you need to do with this product. The clamps turn in their holes, but if you want to move the notebook around, you have to sort of, like you do with a punch hole system, you have to put your hand behind it and you have to push it over. If you're doing this, it's okay if you have the weight of a notebook, it'll turn by itself. But if you've written on this page and you turn the page over, then the clamps don't turn along with the page. You have to basically move the clamps yourself, or you have to lift the clamps up and turn the page and then put the clamps back down again, which is not a really efficient way of working, in my opinion. And what you also need to be very aware of in this system, again, you can see I have to move this now because it's sticking out, is that everything in this part of the notebook is not going to be, you can't use this, you can't write here, because this is where, you can't write here because this is where the clamps are. So the middle of the notebook can't be used. This is the same of course on ring systems, not the same on the X47 system, where you can always write in 100% of your page. There's never anything in the way to do it from. I will say, by the way, out of interest, that the X47 and the Roterfaden are both based in the same small German city, Saarbrücken. There seems to be a design college there which produces people who are interested in creating organizers, so that's really good. But this doesn't have this is open system, X47 isn't, but this doesn't have the quality finish and the tip-top design that this one has. So this is a bit more, as I said, a bit more at the craft end of the market. The size of the imports, I've seen a lot of people's questions underneath people's reviews about what can you put in here. Let me explain, this is quite easy to work out. If you take one of these, just put this so it's easier for you to see. If you take one of these clamps, basically it'll hold flat and the strength of the spring is enough up to about there. Once you get beyond that, the strength of the strength of the spring pushing that way becomes less, and also it holds only the edge of the product in one particular point, and the clamp sticks outwards, and then you get to a point where the spring pulls the other way, so that it springs that way, instead of back down. So the force changes direction. Basically, what you should be saying is that distance is the ideal distance at the clamping point. So the depth of the product at the clamping point should be that distance minus the width of the material into which you're inserting the clamp, which is, I measured it, this is about 5 millimeters. So let me show you that in practice. I have here 2 notebooks. They're about the same size. This notebook fits into the Taschenbegleiter. This one does not. Why? If I open this product anywhere, the clamping point, you can see, clamping point is 4 millimeters. So this fits perfectly into the product. If, on the other hand, I take this one, you can see that because of the way it's been designed, even if I squash this here, this clamping point is too much. So this is 9 millimeters, and there's no way I can get this into the product. So it's 5 millimeters or less depth at the clamping point will go in. Anything above that is not going to work very well. Okay, so you've seen what I've done here. You've seen me put stuff in. You can put anything into it. You can clamp things down. It could be really handy. Now, what do I like? This came wrapped in tissue paper. Excellent. I applaud entirely their ecological responsibility, the responsibilities they take to be environmentally friendly, and that they are trying to design a system where you don't have to use their products. You can use anybody's. 100% made locally, or at least in Germany. They're not locking you in. The leather is produced chrome-free, and the zip has been placed well so that it doesn't get in the way of the paper. What I don't like, the website was difficult to work with. The configurator is no longer available, so I have to take one of their pre-made layouts. They are a bit slow. The outside leather will mark. The spine is very lumpy. Very lumpy. This is, I mean, personal opinion, this is not beautiful in my eyes. The cover is really floppy. The inside pockets are very, very loose. The clamps are too loose. They turn too easily. There's lots of notebooks which can't be used. You have to be choosy in the notebooks you have to make sure they do fit in. Writing in the center of the paper is never an option. But it lies absolutely flat, so that's another advantage. So that was the Roterfaden Taschenbegleiter SO22. As I said, this is not a product I would normally choose, but playing around with it for a time, I think I could grow to enjoy using it. And I implored absolutely the thinking behind the design and its manufacturing processes. So I hope you found that useful, and until next time.